If you think set just means to put something down, you're missing out on about 50 other meanings, and that's why it's so confusing. Hey everyone, welcome to Speak Like a Native. I'm Maya.
And I'm Leo. Let's get into it.
Today, we're doing a deep dive on one tiny word with massive power, set. Leo, off the top of your head, what does set mean to you?
I think of putting a cup on a table. I set the cup down.
Perfect. That's the most basic physical meaning. But here's the thing. In English, set is a chameleon. It changes its meaning completely based on the little word that comes after it. We call these phrasal verbs. And if you try to translate them word for word from your language, it almost never works.
Oh, I've definitely done that. I remember once I told my friend I would set a time for our call, and he looked a bit confused.
Exactly, because set a time is okay, but it's a bit formal. A more natural, common phrase would be set up a time. That little up changes everything. So today, we're not learning 50 meanings. We're mastering 3 incredibly useful set phrases that will come up all the time in real life. Set up, set aside, and set off.
Okay, I'm ready. Where do we start?
Let's start with set up. This is your go-to phrase for anything involving preparation, arrangement, or creation. Imagine you're starting a new online account. You don't create it in casual speech. You
set it up?
Yes, I need to set up my new email. Or you're organizing a meeting with colleagues. You
set up a meeting.
Perfect. Now, here's a real-world scenario. Leo, imagine you just moved to a new apartment. It's empty. What's the first thing you need to do with your internet?
I need to call the company to set up the Wi-Fi.
Excellent. And after the Wi-Fi is working, you unpack your TV. But it's just a box of parts.
Right. Then I have to set up the TV, connect all the cables.
See? From digital accounts to physical furniture to social plans, setup is everywhere. Now, a common mistake, especially for speakers of Spanish or Italian, is to say mount for things like a TV. In English, mount is very specific. It usually means attaching something to a wall. Setup is the broader, more common term for getting something ready to use.
That's helpful. So setup is for getting things ready or organized. What about set aside? That sounds like putting something to the side, physically.
You're touching on the core challenge. The physical meaning is there, like set aside your books. But the magical, most useful meaning is about reserving or saving something intangible. Most often, time or money.
Oh, like saving money?
Exactly. Instead of saying, I save money every month, which is good, you can say, I set aside some money every month for travel. It gives the feeling of intentionally separating it from your regular funds for a special purpose. Now, think about your schedule. You have a busy week, but you really want to see a friend.
I should set aside some time for them.
Yes. Let's set aside an hour to catch up. It implies planning and intention. Here's a classic mistake learners make. They might say, I reserve 2 hours for the meeting. That's not wrong, but it sounds very formal, like you're booking a conference room. I set aside 2 hours sounds much more natural for everyday planning. For our Chinese-speaking listeners, be careful not to directly translate letters di dull and dull and dull, which sounds strange. Set aside time is the perfect equivalent.
Got it. Set aside for reserving time or money. So we have set up for preparation, set aside for reservation. What's the third one?
This one is about movement and beginnings. Set off. Now here's the part that surprises most people. Set off does not mean to turn something off, like a light. That's the opposite.
Wait, really? I think I might have gotten that wrong before.
It's a super common mix-up. Set off means to start a journey. We set off for the mountains at dawn. It can also mean to cause something to start, often suddenly. Like his comment set off a huge argument.
So if I'm leaving my house to go to the airport, I could say I'm setting off for the airport now?
You could, but there's a nuance. Set off often implies a longer or more significant journey. For a daily commute, we'd usually say head to or leave for. But for a road trip, a vacation, an adventure set off is perfect. It has a sense of excitement. Now, here's a classic error I hear. We will depart at 7. Perfectly correct English, but sounds like a flight announcement. A friend would say, we're setting off around 7.
And what about that other meaning, causing something to start?
Great question. Think of an alarm. What does a loud noise do?
It sets off the alarm?
It sets the alarm off. Yes. Or bad news can set off a wave of panic. It triggers it. Now, Leo, I have a challenge for you. I'm going to give you a scenario, and I want you to tell me which set phrase fits. Ready?
Ready?
You're planning a surprise birthday party for a friend. First, you need to coordinate with other friends and find a place.
I need to set up the party.
Good. Next, you need to make sure you have money for the cake and decorations.
I should set aside some money.
Perfect. And on the day of the party, you begin your drive to the secret location.
I set off for the party venue.
Excellent. You're getting it. Now, let's talk about why these are so hard. The biggest trap is direct translation. In Arabic, for example, the verb for set up like a meeting might be completely different from the verb for set up a device. In English, we use the same phrasal verb. You have to learn the phrase as a single chunk of meaning.
That makes so much sense. So we shouldn't think set up, but rather set up as one idea, meaning to arrange.
Exactly. Treat set up, set aside, set off as vocabulary blocks. Now, let's practice with some quick-fire examples. I'll say a sentence and you tell me if it's natural or if there's a better set phrase. First one, I created a new social media profile for my business.
Created is okay, but I set up a new profile sounds more natural.
Spot on. Next one, I saved $30 for a new book.
I set aside $30 is better.
Good. Last one, we began our hike early in the morning.
We set off on our hike early sounds more vivid.
Perfect. You're nailing it. Now, here's a cultural context point. Americans love efficiency and planning. Phrases like set up a call or set aside some time are deeply embedded in the professional and personal culture. Using them correctly makes you sound proactive and organized.
I've noticed that. It's like a code for I've got things under control.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, now for the moment I teased earlier. Leo, I want you to try to use one of these phrases, but I think you might make the mistake that about 90% of learners make when they first try. Let's set a scene. You're telling me about your weekend plans. You say, tomorrow I need to set off to the supermarket to buy groceries.
Okay, tomorrow I need to set off to the supermarket to buy groceries.
And there it is. That's the classic error. It sounds a bit odd, right? Set off is too grand for a trip to the supermarket. It's like using a rocket to deliver a letter. For everyday short trips, we use simpler verbs go to, head to, run to. Set off is best for journeys that feel like an undertaking. So you'd say, tomorrow I need to head to the supermarket.
Okay. So set off has a scale to it. Not for errands.
Exactly. That's the kind of nuance you only get from practice and listening. All right, it's practice round time for everyone listening. I'll say 3 prompts. I want you and everyone at home to say the sentence out loud using the correct set phrase. Pause us if you need to. Ready?
Ready.
Prompt 1. You're organizing a video chat with your family abroad.
Pause for listener. I'm going to set up a video call with my family.
Perfect. Prompt 2. You're budgeting. You want to save money for emergencies.
I always set aside money for emergencies.
Great. Prompt 3. You're beginning a long drive across the country.
We're setting off on a cross-country drive today.
Excellent. If you did those with us, you're already using these phrases more naturally than most learners. Here's your listener challenge. Sometime in the next 24 hours, use one of these 3 phrases, set up, set aside, or set off in a real English conversation, or even just think of a sentence you could say. That active practice is what makes it stick.
And if you want more practice like this, where we break down tricky English into usable chunks,
make sure you're subscribed to Speak Like a Native. Hit that bell so you don't miss our daily episodes. We have so many more word deep dives coming.
Today's single takeaway sentence to repeat to yourself. Set up for arranging, set aside for saving, set off for starting a journey. Say it one more time.
Set up for arranging, set aside for saving, set off for starting a journey. Thanks for learning with us today.
See you next time on Speak Like a Native.